Another one, my tried and true favorite, is the chatterbait. This is that Z-Man EVO Elite. It's that new chatterbait. It's a really good setup here. If you're fishing some dirtier water like we're gonna have conditions today, black and blue, can't ever go wrong with that. And then after we get into these marinas and we start slowing down a little bit, I'm gonna pick up a couple of my favorites. I'm gonna start out with that Ballin' Out jig from Buckeye Lures. And I got a Bat Wings trailer on there. I'm gonna pitch this, and this is what I'm gonna use. Say I go through here, get a couple bites on that square bill. We're gonna slow down then and really try to pick it apart, get this right in front of their face. Those fish are looking for a nice big meal in the spring. So you can go with something that's got a pretty bulky trailer on it, really beef it up a little bit. And then some other of my go-tos. And this is a great setup whether you're fishing around here or if you're fishing, I like, that has a lot of the docks that have floats on it, a Nico rig. So right here we got the Z-Man bang stick, and what's cool about this being a Lastech, you can see, you don't need an O-ring when you hook this. You hook that right through, and I want that hook angle to actually be pointing up a little bit. So I inserted a, let me pull it out real quick. This is a little nail weight made by Z-Man. It's called a Nico Shrooms, and you push it in there, and it holds in really well. But this gives it a little bit faster fall. So versus just fishing a regular wacky rig, where it's gonna have that real slow natural fall, this guy here is gonna go down faster. And when you're fishing those deeper marinas that have, say, 20 foot under them, 30 foot under them, that's a big key, generating those strikes. And the biggest fish, it seems like down south, like to use those black floats to get this kind of tucked up underneath them. So this is great because you can skip that way back in underneath, get to where those biggest fish live that are using the dock and the marinas as protection from whether it's an eagle or whatever bird of prey is above them. And then you got all the algae that grows on those black floats or on the seawalls, riprap. The algae is what brings in the shad, it brings in the bluegill, and just gets the circle of life really going and getting the fish fired up. Another reason that fish like to use marinas is it gives them protection. So there might be less current, so if you're on a river, a tidal system, anything like that, the water will be moving a little bit slower. So if this is a tidal situation, it's gonna go up and down, but it doesn't get the current pulling through it. So that's why those fish really like to bed in those areas, and that's why they start here when they're pre-spawn, spawn, and then post-spawn. It's kind of just a good habitat for those fish to really live in. As you're fishing, and we say you start catching some post spawners, maybe you'll see there'll be a shade line right there. And a lot of times the bass fry will actually go into that. They'll kind of ball up there. And you're gonna wanna pay attention to that because that's where you'll take your Nico rig, toss that over to them, and you're gonna catch those fry garters. You'll catch a bunch of the big males that are in there, or maybe you'll even pick off one of the females that's still hanging around. So make sure you check the shade lines out. That's one of the great benefits of fishing docks and marinas. So when you're fishing a deeper marina or dock, the big marinas I really like to focus on, that you got to picture the fish are coming from the deep water where they're wintering. So as they transition to the marinas, usually behind the marinas there's going to be pockets. Those pockets are where those fish are going to be spawning, but they stop on those deep marinas over that water that's, say, that 20 plus foot. They could be over 100 foot, it doesn't really matter. Another great way to catch those fish off those marinas, they're not going to be on the bottom on them. They're going to be suspended underneath, or if it's sunny, a lot of times they tuck right up to those black floats we talked about before. You could take a chatterbait, skip that way back underneath there, and keep it high in the water column. That's what I'm going to use, usually a 3/8 ounce. Keep it right underneath those dock pilings, or sorry, actual floats, or around the dock pilings, and keep it under there. Those big largemouth and spotted bass, especially down south, really like to stage there. Get a couple good meals into them before they start spawning, and then after using those marinas, they're going to go back into those pockets we talked about,